Hello everyone and welcome back to the new video. In this video we are going to discuss about while loop in C programming. In the last video I have given you glimpses about for loop, how we can make use of a for loop in a C program to execute certain computation for certain number of times, and in this video we are going to perform a similar task as we did when we were discussing for loop, that is to print the numbers from 0 to 9 on the console. But this time we are going to perform this task by making use of a while loop instead of a for loop. So let's get started and write the program. When it comes to writing the program in C, we are going to first include the header file. This is what we are supposed to do. So hash include stdio.h is what I'm going to write, and then I will be defining the main function void main. In the main function we have to define a variable int I. Let us say the variable that we are going to make use of in the program is I variable. Now we will write while loop while I is less than 10. So since we are willing to print the numbers from 0 to 9, so the condition is I less than 10. Alright, so while this condition is true, the value of I is less than 10, whatever you are going to write inside this while loop will be executed. Right, so while loop will be executed in case the condition which you are writing over here, which in this case is I less than 10, is true. So till the point the I value is less than 10, whatever you are going to write within this while loop will be executed. So what we want to do is we want to print the value of I. So printf, so you are going to write %d comma I. Right, so this is how we can easily print it. But now the question is how we can increment the variable so that for the next iteration the value of I is updated. In a for loop you have I++. This is what we write when we make use of for loop. Right, over here you have to write the condition to update the variable value. So in our case, if I want to increment I by 1, I have to write like I is equal to I plus 1. So this will update the value of I, and for the next iteration it will be 1 because integer variable I has a default value of 0, and for the first iteration is going to run for I is equal to 0, and for the next iteration I will be 1, for the next one it will be 2, 3 and so on. So this loop will execute till this condition is true. That means the value of I is less than 10. The time the value of I becomes equal to 10, this condition evaluates to false and the loop will not run. Right, so this line that you are writing within this while loop, that is to print the value of I on the console, will not be executed. So it will come out of this while loop. Okay, so the while loop will end over here the time the value of I becomes equal to 10. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to just copy this entire code that we have written, and we will be making use of devcpp IDE. So let me just quickly open devcpp. So this is devc++ IDE, and what we are going to do is we are going to open a new source file. We will paste our code over here and we will save it, and I will give it a name test4. It's a C file, so we'll save it test4.c. Okay, so now the code is saved. I will execute this program. I'll first compile it to see whether there is any syntax error in the code or not. There is no syntax error in the code, it's perfectly fine. We'll execute this code and we'll run it. Okay, so over here you see what is happening. The numbers from 0 to 9 are getting printed. Now in case you want some spacing, as we did earlier, we will just give a tab over here. Okay, \t. We'll save the program, we'll compile it again, and we will again run this program. Now you can see the numbers getting printed from 0 to 9. Okay, so this is how we can easily execute a similar program by making use of while loop. So this is another way by which you can incorporate looping concept in your program by making use of a while loop. The difference is clearly seen over here, that in this case the value of the variable gets incremented for the next iteration over here in the loop itself. It's not like a for loop where you can do it over there itself. in the for loop itself. So here in the body we are updating the variable value, and here only the condition is getting checked, right? So syntax wise, if I say while condition, and over here you have statements to execute when condition is true, right? So if the condition is true, the statements, whatever you are going to write within this while loop, will get executed, right? So that's it, guys. This is how you can make use of while loop in a C program, and in the next video we will execute a program by making use of a do while loop. I can't wait to see you in the next video. See you there.